Hello and welcome back to another video, and today I have an absolutely epic top 32 Toronto Regionals Drytron deck profile for you guys. So I took this deck yesterday, or 2 days ago, to the Toronto Regionals, and we came, I believe, 21st or 23rd, I don't exactly remember, but the point is, we did pretty good, 9 rounds in total with a record of 7-2. Our losses were only to Bricking terribly 2 games in a row, and then opponent opening Dark Ruler 2 games in a row, but that's fine. I really enjoyed the tournament, all meta matchups, which was good, and I felt that this list performed extremely well. So without further ado, be sure to smash that and comment down below what you guys think of the deck profile. Of course, if you guys would like a combo video, let me know down below, because this deck is absolutely incredible. And without further ado, let's hop right into the video. Alright, so first off, we're running 3 copies of Drytron Alpha Thubin. I don't think I need to explain this, but this is by far the best one. It searches your ritual monster on summon, and all of the Drytron monsters are such pure gas because they get you to body to extend with, and this card was absolutely broken. And then to go with that, we are running 3 copies of Zeta Aldeba. Zeta is also broken and searches your ritual spell. If you already have Medionis, I search Dawn because I am on Perfection in this build, and Zeta's broken. 3/3. Obviously, these 2 cards, if you open them, you're so sick. You're good to go for the rest of the event. You're honestly great. Next up, we have 3 copies of Gamma. Now, I am maxing out on Gammas, even though that's not traditional, because I feel like I want to see as many names as fast as possible, and in this list I'm not prioritizing specific combos that cause other lists to run less copies of Gammas because you don't want to necessarily open it. But in this list, it's just a name, and I want to see as many names as fast as possible to optimize consistency. This is a 45 card list, but it's really, really strong. Next, we have 3 copies of Delta Altes. As I said, I want to max out the Drytron names and see them as often as possible, because all of these essentially do the same thing, and all of them are pure gas, and all of them are incredible in the grinding game. And I felt that I wanted to see them as often as possible, so I wanted to max out on every single copy, and I do believe that these are the correct ratios. I saw other lists that were running 9 Drytrons in the main deck. Personally, I just think that you won't see really any names of that. If you're incredibly lucky, go for it. But honestly, I just feel like I'm most comfortable with running 3 copies of every Drytron. It feels the best, it feels the most consistent, and I personally would not change this. Next up, we have 1 copy of Diviner of the Herald. Now, I tried running 2. I did not like it. I feel like in the specific build that I'm using, you only need Diviner for follow-up, or in case you get very, very heavily interrupted, or board breaking power, or even just a discard. This card is good, but I never found myself even one time in the whole event wishing I had a second one. I think 1 is the perfect ratio, and I would never bump this up. We have 1 copy of Artifact Lancia over here. This is searchable, and I was expecting a lot of Flunder, so I was maining this card. This card was super clutch, and I loved it. I will definitely keep it in the main deck. And 1 copy of Herald of Orange Light. Once again, same reasoning with Diviner. I don't want to run more copies of this card because it gets a bit bricky, and then I also am fine with just searching it, because any other amount of this card just doesn't feel as good, and it makes me add unnecessary cards to my deck that don't necessarily raise my ceiling, but just have niche interactions where they're better than other points in the game. But I found myself never wanting another copy of this card in my deck. I felt 1, 1, and 1 was a perfect ratio. And then we have our win condition. We have 1 copy of Vanny's Ruler. This is a Vanny's Ruler build, and I absolutely love it. That's why we're also running 1 Diviner and not 3 as common, because we are using our tribute to summon Vanny's Ruler. Now, Vanny's Ruler is searchable, and backed up by all of your cards, it's incredibly strong. Even going second, I kept it in because it's that good. That may sound weird, but in testing, I absolutely love this card, and I highly recommend you guys try that out. Next, we have 1 copy of Herald of Perfection. I know, Golder, whatever, moving on. Herald of Perfection is an incredibly powerful card. It's basically a non-once per turn Omni, and this card lets you loop Ben 10, as I'll show later on. It's incredible. We have 1 copy of Medionis Draconids. Now, Draconids is such a powerful card. It is ridiculous. This card, if I ever ran out of gas, then I always had this card to rely on. And also, it's incredible at breaking boards because it can attack all monsters your opponent controls, and the fact that they can't target it is also incredible. This card is absolutely broken, and you have to run it in the deck. 1,000,000%. Next, we have 2 copies of Ben 10. This is the whole reason why I'm playing this deck. If this is 1, the deck's still cool, but I would personally not be playing it myself. Ben 10 is broken. This lets you, first of all, do so much in your combo and extend so far past what you should be able to do, and makes the deck really unfair and degenerate, what it feels like. And I really love this card because of that. We have one copy of Ida 10 as well. Basically, this gives us 3 steals from Natasha, and Natasha, in my opinion, is the best card in the deck, so I wanted to max out on these. And also, I really felt like having that extra search in the late game, or even when we have enough extra searches, this felt really, really good to search, and it's a level 6 too, which is great. One copy of Cyber Angel Natasha. This is the best card ever, by far. This card came up every single game of the tournament, literally every single one. You loop it 3 times, and some people may think that that won't come up too much. It comes up, let me tell you, it does come up. 2 usually is the average, but 3, it comes up a ton. And then it's able to just steal the opponent's monster, and then I even decked my opponent out in the tournament by having it in defense position. He had 7 cards left in deck, and it was a simplified game state, so it has the effect to just negate an attack on a ritual monster. So I just kept on negating his attacks, and he eventually decked out. So that was pretty cool. And yeah, this was the god card in the deck. I love this card, and I think if you're not playing Natasha, you're not playing Drytron. This card is broken. 2 copies of Fafnir. Most people run 1. I like 2. I feel like diversifying the names of ways to getting to Nova and stuff is really nice, and this can also search Medionis, but mainly the level modulation effect was absolutely incredible. I really did love that. We have 2 copies of Drytron Nova. Nova is a really, really good card. It summons you a Drytron directly from the deck. Now, 3 is obviously optimal, but I felt like I'm running 4 copies with the 2 Fafnir, and I prefer running over the 1 Fafnir 3 Nova, because Fafnir sometimes gives me the option to search for Medionis in a game state where something like I'll need to search Medionis. It feels really good to just have that option. The deck loses to draw either way, so you might as well embrace it. We have 1 copy of Medionis Drytron over here. Medionis is obviously broken. You can loop it, and then it's just such a good card. Yeah, and paired up with Mu Beta, it's literally an FTK. We have 3 copies of Cyber Emergency over here. This gets you to any of your names. Cyber Emergency is such a broken card. And if you're, yeah, I don't think I need to explain this. And keep in mind, this have the negating activation effect. So if your opponent negates activation, you can pitch a card, add it back to your hand, and activate again, which is really sick. 3 copies of Preparation of Rites. This card is broken and gets you to Ben 10. I don't think much more needs to be said about that. It gets you to Ben 10, and that's basically all you need it for. We have 3 copies of Pre-Preparation of Rites. Now, this card, I know a lot of people don't run, but I absolutely think it's a god card. You reveal Dawn of the Herald, add Perfection. Suddenly, all of your combos become perfect. Your opponent can't do anything because you go Dawn, Tribute, Ben 10, Summon, Chainlink 1, Ben 10, Chainlink 2, Dawn, add back the Ben 10, trigger all that, and now your combo is completely Nibiru-proof, everything-proof. It's incredibly powerful, and I think it's the best way to play this deck. Obviously, one Dawn of the Herald to go with that. I don't think I need to explain this, but this card is broken. Adding back Ben 10 never felt so good. We have on to the Saki one of Xeno. 1 Called by the Grave. Called by is broken. I hit 1 droll in the whole event. I got drolled 3 times. Hit 1 droll with it, so that felt pretty good, and I love this card. I really recommend running it. 1 copy of Foolish Burial. Once again, another way to get to your Alpha or Zeta, which is really what you're trying to use it for. And then the main deck card that I think is the other MVP, other than Natasha. We have 3 copies of Dark Ruler, no more. Now, Dark Ruler is such an incredibly powerful card. This card negates all face-up effects that your opponent controls. This card is broken against Flunder. It's broken against any combo deck. It's broken against anything. It came up every single game I had in turn. Every single game. I'm not even joking. This card is broken, and I think main decking it is the best thing you can do for your deck in this format. Next, we have 2 copies of Forbidden Chalice. Forbidden Chalice is an incredible card. It's next level. I was messing around with Droplet, but I found that Chalice is nice because I can just chain it, and I wouldn't have to send a card to negate something. And I know that might sound weird because you can negate, you can send like a Drytron name or something, but I felt like I wanted to maintain as much hand advantage as possible when I'm running the Perfection build, because I'm already discarding a lot, and the Nightmare cards also make you discard. So I felt like Chalice just felt really good, and I can just set it on top of my endboard, and I don't have to waste any cards in my hand or field to negate my opponent's cards. And 2 Chalice, because we are running 1 copy of Harpy's Feather Duster for our 45th card in the main deck. I really like this ratio, honestly. Harpy's Feather Duster, came up quite a bit in the event. I really loved it, and I think it's an incredibly powerful card that you definitely should be running, especially with Mystic Mine running around so prevalently in the format. That's it for the main deck. Super consistent main deck, super tight. I really love this list, and I wouldn't really change anything about that main deck. Next, we have 2 copies of Mu Beta Fafnir. Now, before I get into the extract, just shout out to the guy who hooked me up with these sleeves in the event. Shout out to you, man. You know who you are. You're absolutely epic. And yeah, anyways, Mu Beta Fafnir, he's incredible. Basically, it's a foolish on summon, and it's also, if you activate Meteonis, you can just straight up detach a material from it instead to substitute for a ritual material. And it's also Spell and Trap Negate, which is pretty cool. So this card is absolutely broken, and I went into 2, I went to the second one almost always on turn 3 if I needed to, and it's really, really powerful. I really love this card. 1 copy of Beatrice. Not gonna lie, Beatrice did not come up that much, but in a Perfection build with Ruler, I didn't expect it to come up as much. It's still a really powerful card though, and I do still recommend running it. 1 copy of Lurlusk Assembled Nightingale. Nightingale is broken, just swing, make Zeus. Sometimes you don't even need to go into Downer just to play around stuff, and you just make Zeus and it blows up their board, and yeah, that's pretty good. We have 1 copy of a spicy card over here, 1 copy of Lurlusk on Blue Robin. Robin is really cool because it's an additional 2 bounces on your end board if you need it, and sometimes if your ruler gets impermed and like you don't have enough discards for Perfection or something, Robin is enough to get you there, and at the very worst, it's another monster to make Zeus with, which is really, really nice. And it can also recycle your Assembled Nightingale, which did actually come up once, so I really do like this card, and I highly recommend you guys try that out. We have 1 copy of Downward Magician over here. Downward is a broken card. You just slap it on top of literally anything and it feels great. 1 copy of Divine Arsenal Zeus. Zeus came up almost all the games that I was supposed to lose, and it ended up winning me them, so that's great. Onto the links, you have 1 copy of Anima. I made this every single game. You don't need Link Rainbow. Anima is just better. You make it turn 1. It doesn't matter if you don't have Link Rainbow. Anima comes up every game turn 2 because they straight up don't play around it, and that is one of its best points. 1 copy of Nightmare Phoenix over here. Phoenix also came up every game while I'm link climbing with Natasha. Natasha, just being able to link it off into anything feels very, very good. That's our running Phoenix. 1 copy of Nightmare Unicorn. Unicorn is such a broken card. It also came up so much while I was link climbing, but also, this card just felt incredible shuffling away all the problematic cards that my opponent had. I really love this, and if you guys haven't noticed, I'm not running IP. My theory is Ensemble Blue Robin replaces IP, but I never once in the event felt like I needed IP, which is great. Like, I have an IP and everything. It's like actually right over here, I believe. Yep, there we go, my IP over there. But I still didn't feel the need to play it. I don't think it's the best card for my list. I didn't find it ever to come up, even though it does come up a lot in traditional things. I just didn't find myself needing to make it ever, so I was perfectly happy without running it. 1 copy of World Sword Dragon. Also, this is how you end games. This came up every game when I was OTKing. This card is so broken, and it outs so much this format, including the Edagnister Link 6. You gain half of their attack. Even though it doesn't affect it, you'll gain half, and then you can just still swing over it, which is incredible. So yeah, this card's broken, and I love it way more than Access Code. 1 copy of Herald of the Arclight. This card's really cool, and yeah, not much to say about it. When you're good Diviner, you can send Herald, which is nice. 1 copy of Black Rose Dragon. You make this with Diviner after sending this, and any of the Drytron monsters just blow up. If you put this into a lot of the big boards this format, it just eats them alive, and they can't do anything about it. 1 copy of Baron de Fleur. I made this every so often, and when I did, I just won the game. You make it with Diviner, and just straight up by sending a level 2, and any of the level 6 rituals, which sounds weird, but it works. And yeah, that's basically it for the singles. And final card in the extra deck, we have 1 copy of Elder Entity Entes. Entes is broken. Don't forget about the Contact Fusion effect, which is pretty cool, but aside from that, you can always just send this with Diviner. When your opponent thinks you're going to be sending Herald, so they're fine with it, you send Entes, screw over their board, you just pop something and you're totally good to go. Next up, for the side deck, we have 3 copies of Gamma. Gamma was the MVP going second. I always sided this in, and it always came up. This card's broken. 1 copy of Driver, man's best friend over here. I didn't open it once in the event. It seems to hate me, and I'm totally okay with that. 3 copies of Token Collector. Token Collector also came up quite a bit against all of the Brave matchups. There's still a ton of Brave running around this format, especially with Punk, Therion, and all that stuff. We have 3 copies of Nibiru. I am running Token Collector and Nibiru, which may seem a bit excessive, but I felt like this was really strong, this format, so I really did want to find a way to put it in. 2 copies of Droll and Lockbird. Droll is an incredible card, and I really wanted to play it, but I didn't find space for more than 2 copies. But hey, when it resolves, it does wonders. We have 3 copies of Twin Twizzlers for our final cards. Once again, more back removal for Aldlich and Mystic Mine. I was very scared of Mystic Mine. I didn't see it too much, luckily. But I'm totally okay with it, honestly. When you have Twin Twizzlers in the deck, that card just does nothing because you just kill them. And that's basically it. Yeah, that's the deck profile. I hope you guys have enjoyed. If you did, be sure to smash the like button. Yeah, this was my top 32 Drytron list. Absolutely incredible. I really hope you guys did like it. And yeah, I'll catch you guys in the next video. Alright, guys. Peace.